Most people think that getting a remote six-figure income job is about the hustle, but the reality is it's actually about rewiring your brain to understand your skill sets, to understand your value, to know that you bring that extra oomph to the room, right? Because I think sometimes we put in so much work in whether it's the education, whether it's staying up to get the presentation right, whether it's picking our words carefully so we sound strategic in the meeting, whatever it is that you've been doing to survive, if not thrive in corporate, you have put in so much time into that. But because you're putting all that work into it, it seems, and then you might also have some imposter syndrome on top of that. It seems impossible, but I'm here to share with you that no, it's not about the hustle to get to that remote six-figure job, to get into that space that you have a culture that respects you and your time and your work integration. And for me, the way I learned this and what I support other people in is how do you identify your skill sets and how do you identify the right companies without hustling, without 6 months, 7 months, 1 year, a year and a half, you're still applying for hundreds of jobs, you're still scrolling through LinkedIn. That is not a healthy lifestyle for anybody, right? No one wants that. So then it becomes how do you move away from that in a healthy way? And that is what I support clients with when they get in the room with me and they are able to find jobs, because it's not about you don't have what it takes. It's about you might not have the strategy. You might not have someone walking you through the audit. So what I want to share is when you are able to understand your skill. So if you look at your day and you're able to say, I have done change management. I've done facilitation. I'm very strategic. I'm great at marketing. I'm great at storytelling. I read an article the other day from either Business Insider or Bloomberg that was saying the job description or skill set that is actually going crazy right now is, yes, AI, but also storytelling. Why? Because people want, or businesses, and therefore people want to see humans. They want to interact with humans. So if you're in a space of your life where you're able to interact more with humans and you're able to engage in that way, then what happens is you set yourself apart as an individual and as a business, where you're able to tell a story well, where you're able to say, hey, I'm not AI. I'm a human. I bleed just like you do. I have nuance to me. I have some thought processes, right? This is all what it means to be in a space of understanding who you are. And the ways that we excavate, I keep saying excavate, and I'm not sure that's like the right word, but the ways that we really identify what skill sets you have and how you can transfer that to a remote six-figure role is by really sitting down and understanding your day to day. What do you do day to day? What do people come to you for? What are people slacking you for in the Teams meeting? What are they asking you for because they know that you have the competence to achieve it? That is your first signal of, hey, this is what I'm really good at, and this is what I'm being paid to do here. This is what keeps the engine running. And I remember when I first started working in this ed tech company that was supporting apprenticeships. So my whole role was to support people who did not have 40 degrees get into tech. And I was the third person hired there. So because of that, I had to figure out how to even attract people to this company because they were new to the US. And then I also had to get them ready. And the reason I had to get them ready was because they were coming from, I ended up doing a TikTok post that went super viral. We had over 4,000 people apply to the website, thus crashing the website. And most of these people were coming from frontline service jobs for people who were just working at McDonald's or Burger King and now they want to transition, or 7-Eleven, or what was it, Quick Stop. We actually ended up working with that. But so these are folks who are super brilliant in so many ways, but they haven't had the pathway of going through college, going through internships to now get to these corporate tech roles. And now, because my job was to make sure that they were hired by all the companies we were working with, and the companies we were working with was Meta, Twitter, Google. This is when Twitter was not X, Uber, banks, and what some of the major banks you can think about, consulting firms, McKinsey, airlines, Delta, JetBlue, Alaska. So all these different companies were hiring our talent. But the thing is that obviously there's some skepticism because they're like, do we really want to hire this person who doesn't have a degree or experience that we consider into data analyst roles, into HR roles, into sales roles, into engineering roles? Now, the way the apprenticeship worked is that once the company decided to hire you, we would train you. So if you were a software engineer, you would go through a boot camp, but you're getting paid for the boot camp, right? Because technically now you're on payroll. So you get paid for the boot camp and then you start. If you are maybe in a more HR role or data engineering, data analyst role, then you would just start day one. And then you would take a few hours of your week to then train with us. And the reason why this model was so important was because what you end up doing is that you're putting people in positions where they can grow in their career. They're not getting into debt. And usually people stay longer at these companies than your average worker, which means it's also a benefit for the company. But they obviously need to get in first. So my job was to say, you who just came from maybe high school to working in this job in your frontline job to now wanting to work in corporate, how do I get you ready? And it was understanding their skills, their transferable skills. How do you talk to customers? How do you learn? This was so important. And people never understood why we asked these questions. But really, I created a set of questions that I asked, my team asked, and we also started giving to companies to ask. Because ultimately, if we understood how you learned, then we could understand how successful you would be. And there was a correlation between how people were learning before they even were introduced to us and how effective they were later on in the job, right? So I will look for skills like that when I'm working with my clients of how do you learn, what are you comfortable in, and what skill sets are you bringing to the table? And through all of that, we're able to craft a narrative that says, hey, this is what people seek me for. This is how I bring value to the table. These are my technical skills, and this is how I'm able to show you that I'm learning quickly. And with those three pillars, once we understand that, we're able to not only edit your resume to match that, to show how quickly you learned, whether it was technical tools or how you showed your value by saving the company time, money, resources, whatever the case might be. We also then update your LinkedIn because your LinkedIn acts like a lighthouse, right? It's a lighthouse that is attracting people to you, it's attracting recruiters to you, it's attracting opportunities to you. So you want to be engaging, you want to be warm to so they can attract to you, right? You want your inbox to be full with opportunity. So that's really, really important. So we update that as well. And we do those because, like I said, it's all about attraction. You do the resume because, you don't want to, what is it? You want to be ready, you want to get ready. That's why you do the resume. You do the LinkedIn to be a lighthouse. But where we put actually the most amount of work is networking. Because I think when people hear networking, the thing that comes to mind is like this sleazy, weird thing that you're doing. But that's really not what networking is. I've gotten so many opportunities from networking, and it's really about curiosity. It's really about knowing your skill set so much, knowing who you are so much that you can reach out to someone to offer them something. You can reach out to someone and say, hey, this is my expertise. I see that you posted about XYZ. I see that you're hiring for XYZ. Here are my thoughts. Or I've done all this work. I'm wondering, what you think about this and what you think my next step would be because I admire you so much. So it's a bit of curiosity and flattery. And those are the two things when you're trying to network. And by doing that, what happens is that you intrigue people, and then when you follow up, slowly but surely they trust you. And this might not happen right away, but as jobs open, then they come to you. And I cannot tell you how many times I've received opportunities through LinkedIn. I have given people opportunities through networking. And one networking is a few months ago, I did a workshop on AI in the workplace at AWS. And when I was done, this lady came up to me and she's like, I love the presentation. This is my current situation with work. I'm in between jobs, etc., etc. This was at least like 5, 6 months ago. And we just stayed in touch. Like it wasn't anything intense. It was like if I saw a job that I thought would be good for her, I'll send it to her. If she saw an event that she thought I would like, she would send it to me. And there's a recurring contract that I do that I couldn't do this time around because I wasn't going to be in the country. And she was the first person I thought of. Why? Because she kept the relationship warm. She showed me her interests. She showed me what she was good at, what her skill set was. And once the opportunity came that was aligned, sent it right to her. And it's so funny because this is how trust and networking work. The contract that I was doing, I got because of a LinkedIn connection that I made 10 years ago. So at this point, like I'm actually friends with that person. But when I said I couldn't do it, I said, hey, what about her? And this is her LinkedIn, they have all the things. And the owners were like, girl, why are you doing all this? Like, we trust you, right? So off of the back of her walking up to me at an event, us staying in contact, low-key networking, me networking with someone 10 years ago and staying in contact with them and doing a good job. When this opportunity came around and I put up her name to get hired, and like literally was a two sentence message, and she actually went to the job and they got to know her. They love her now. And I think that's going to be a recurring contract for her because I'm stepping away from that world. So I say all this to say, most people think that landing a six-figure remote job is all about hustle, hustle, but no, it's about understanding yourself. And if you don't know that yet, it's about tapping in. Get in the room with me. Let's figure it out together. Tap in, figure it out, and then from there, go confidently and share who you are, because that's how you get hired. So I look forward to chatting with y'all. Please subscribe for more. I am here to support you live out your aligned dreams. And I say aligned because I don't know about you, but I don't necessarily like dream of labor. But what I do understand is that we have to do it in this world, in this economy. So if we have to do it, why not do it in a way that is aligned to what we're trying to learn, who we're trying to be, what we're trying to grow as? And for me, and for most people I work with, that is having a job that allows them to grow, to be curious, to be in a healthy work environment, most likely remote, making six figures because eggs are expensive. So if you have questions about it, please drop it in the comments. I am geeked to share this with you all. I'm geeked to be on this journey with you all. So let me know, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Definitely subscribe for tomorrow's video. I don't know what I'm talking about yet, but come on over. Or let me know. Let me know in the comments what you would like me to talk about. All right, bye.